mask on. Is it on right? No. I had to stop on the way to see Alex at Buc-ee's because we're in fucking Texas and that's what you gotta do. Buc-ee's. Austin's badass. Like, it's got all trees and everything, but look right here. There's a building. You're in the city, but you're in the country. There's Alex's gym. It's about to go down in there. But look, right here, trees everywhere. Austin's pretty awesome.
Let's go.
We're here with Alex.
What's up?
Alex Anoushian.
Yep.
I said it right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we went through this because I'm retarded. I didn't press record. Anyways, so Anoushian's Armenian.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from LA.
From LA?
Yep. Just outside of LA.
What's the Armenian place in LA? I used to live there. I forgot.
Glendale.
Glendale, yes.
So I lived there when I was like a year, when I was born, up to like a year or maybe two. And then we moved to a little city outside in the suburbs called Laverne.
Okay.
And then I went, grew up there and all that.
And where's Laverne?
Laverne is like about 35 miles or so east of Glendale.
Oh, okay.
So like you go, where Pomona's at?
Right, yeah.
So just north of Pomona on 57 and 210 is Laverne, San Dimas area.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Cool. When did you start fighting?
Started fighting.
Did you fight in LA?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I did. Like I came up. So I was doing martial arts since I was a little kid. I was doing Hapkido, Korean martial art, and then
what is Hapkido?
Hapkido's a Korean martial art. They do like joint locks and like twisting your wrist.
Locks?
Yeah, wrist locks and things like
jiu-jitsu.
that. Yeah,
wrist locks and
different. Different than jiu-jitsu, but
all right.
It was something my cousin was doing. A close family friend. He was into it, and I knew like I always wanted to do Muay Thai when I was a kid. Just kind of like was drawn to it. And then, my mom would say like, "Oh, it's too dangerous."
Wait! You watched Muay Thai when you were a kid? You knew you wanted to do it? How'd you see? How were you exposed to it?
So, back in the day, we watched, Kickboxer and Bloodsport.
Yeah.
And that was, shout out Paulo Tocha.
Yeah.
That was kind of like my first.
That's LA. Did you train with him when you lived in LA?
Didn't train with him, but kind of got to know him. After getting involved in the Muay Thai scene in Southern California.
All right,
got to know him. He's a really cool dude.
Yeah.
So I was doing martial arts since I was a kid. My mom didn't want me doing Muay Thai when, she saw the movies and all that. She's like, no, that's too dangerous.
Yeah,
and then, at that time, Muay Thai wasn't like what it is now. And I don't even know like where there was a gym for Muay Thai. I didn't even think there was a gym for Muay Thai that I knew of, but there was. I just didn't know about it or how to find one.
Okay.
And then so she's like, well, why don't you just go do Hapkido, which are he's not my cousin, but it was like a family friend. He's like, you can go with him, go do Hapkido and stuff. So I tried it, and it wasn't Muay Thai, but I was just happy to do some kind of martial arts,
Cool.
So I just went off the deep end and just fell in love with it and did that for many years.
So
I was like,
does Hapkido have spinning stuff in it? Like
yeah,
spinning
it's
kicks?
it's like spinning kicks. It's not so much like Taekwondo.
Because dude, there's a lot of Armenians that do all that spinning stuff from from LA, and they're good.
No,
dude.
they're good.
They're really good at it.
I think a lot of those guys have more like a lot of traditional martial arts kind of style backgrounds.
All right.
But again, like me living out east of all that, I had a lot of friends in the Pasadena area growing up, but after about when I started 6th grade or 7th grade, up to 6th grade, I went to Armenian school in Glendale. But then after that, I went to public school over by where I lived. But I was doing martial arts over by where.
What's Armenian school?
So I went as
Armenians only?
Yeah.
It's racist, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't know nothing about that back then. Like that's back in the day. Yeah, when people. Teachers could put hands on you if you got out of line.
Bro, here was when I was a kid. Well, first of all, I grew up in Hawaii, so racism was fuck whitey. That was the racism. That's how it was. But when I was a kid, you only could get 10 swats a day. So with a big paddle. So we found out what teacher swatted the lightest, and I would get all 10 in that class. So I could be an asshole the rest of the day. Which, I shouldn't have been.
At my school, it was an Armenian school run by nuns. So
they're the worst.
It was pretty strict, like
it's pretty strict.
Yeah, we had some strict teachers and everything, but I mean, at that time, I was like, man, this is hell. This sucks. But now looking back at it, I'm like, I'm glad I kind of grew up in that kind of environment and learned discipline and all that stuff through there. So yeah, that was the Armenian school. But then, when I was doing martial arts, really took to it and kind of. I would show up every day and just kind of, it was just something I knew.
Doing Hapkido.
Yeah.
Cool.
Doing Hapkido. And so I get it's a Korean martial art, and some of the kicks were similar to Taekwondo, but it wasn't as focused on the kicking and all that. It had more of like the, if somebody grabs you like this, you could do this. Or if somebody grabs your arm and pulls you, you could do this or
right. Grab my arm this way.
Yeah.
No, your hand the other way.
Yeah.
No, your hand the other way. Okay, stay there. Don't move. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I did some. I did like karate when I was super young.
Yeah.
But it was in a bad neighborhood, and my mom didn't want to drive through there.
Yeah.
And then I also got kicked out of karate because somebody kicked me, and I punched him in the mouth.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? And I blooded him up. And they were like, oh, they got all crazy. And I go, what? That's what we're doing in here. And they kicked me out.
Yeah. So I did Hapkido for years and, got my black belt and all that.
Do you translate any of the Hapkido into your Muay Thai style?
Probably not anymore. But I think in the beginning, like in my first few smoker fights, I think because I started training Muay Thai for a couple months. And I was already, doing some smokers.
Who'd you train with?
Walter Sleeper Miklowski.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you said Pasadena. Yeah. And the first person that came to my mind was Walter. Yeah, Walter's awesome, dude.
I consider him he was my first Muay Thai coach.
Yeah,
for sure.
Nice. Yeah, he's awesome.
So when I was training Hapkido, so I ended up opening a Hapkido school when I was 18 years old.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I did not know this. Yeah. Where?
Out in Yucaipa, California.
Yucaipa, I've heard of it.
So that's like Redlands. If you go to Redlands,
okay,
you know where Redlands, San Bernardino.
Yeah,
you pass that, and then you get to Yucaipa. Okay. So the organization I was in, we had multiple schools, multiple locations, and one of the owners of the Yucaipa school had passed away. And his wife, I think, from what I remember at that time, she just didn't want to run the school and she just want to sell it and get out of it. So me and another, one of my seniors in Hapkido, was like, hey, I'm thinking about buying the school. You want to partner up with me? And, let's go at it and, let's go do it. Because I already had my black belt at that time. I was 18 years old.
Nice.
And I was like, dude, yeah.
Yes, that's what I want to do.
Hell yeah. I got a loan from an uncle, a couple grand. And to buy in,
how
yeah,
much?
I didn't have the money. It was like $5,000.
It was like $5,000 for a school?
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
because she just wanted to get out. The wife just wanted to get out, So
Right.
it was a school, had students already, and they just needed somebody to run it, somebody to teach and run
and
run
own
the,
it.
and yeah.
Shit, I'm really down.
So I was like, dude, this is it. Like, this is my opportunity,
And then how'd that go? How long did you do that?
Man, what was it? Like a year, maybe year and a half, something like that. Yeah. So there's a story there too. So, so we're doing that. We're doing the school, and it was going good. We had students. We're getting better, and I don't know nothing about running a martial arts business. I was just excited to be out there teaching and all that. So while we were doing that, I still had I knew I still wanted to do Muay Thai, and just driving back and forth from where I lived in San Dimas.
Wait, did we ever go over how you were exposed to Muay Thai first? Like you said you were doing Hapkido when you were young.
Maybe that was the part that you didn't record when we were talking about.
I got called out, dude. I'm gonna call them out later, though. All right. Anyways, how did you get exposed to Muay Thai? Like, how did you know I want to do Muay Thai?
So before I did Hapkido, I knew about Muay Thai and learned about it through the movies, through like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, and, all the
Van Damage, 5'2".
Van Damme, yeah. I see Bloodsport and I see Paulo Tocha.
Dude, I saw that movie 500 times.
I know, same here. And I knew it by heart, and I made my parents watch it with me and all that stuff.
And then Paulo Tocha.
Shout out Paulo Tocha, man.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into, or at least learned about Muay Thai. And I was like, dude, this is what I want to do. This is cool,
Nice.
Tong Po freaking kicking that column.
Kicking the fucking pole. What the? Man.
Yeah.
Can he deal with this?
Yeah.
I might have seen that movie a couple times.
Yeah. Enough of that tip tap shit.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of got into it. My mom said, no, Muay Thai is too dangerous.
Yeah.
Go do Hapkido with your cousin. And when she told me Muay Thai is too dangerous, of course, I wanted to do it even more.
Yeah. Especially when you're a kid.
Yeah. I'm like, well, fucking, that's what I want to do. Well, anyway, so got into Hapkido instead of Muay Thai in the beginning, kind of put Muay Thai in the back burner. Dove deep into Hapkido and just got into it. It just became kind of like my life. I would go to school, and then I got higher and higher in my belt levels. And one of my instructors from Hapkido would actually pick me up from school, and like I would be his assistant instructor. He'd pay me to go help him teach some classes at a country club or something that we worked at. And then after that, we went and trained at our regular gym, at our regular one in school in Pomona. Well, the time came, I had an opportunity to take over that school in Ukaipa. Right.
But you said only a year or
so
2 years? What happened?
The guy, so I had a partner, right? I was 18 years old. I wasn't running it on my own. I had a partner. He was
to let you guys know, it's bad to have a partner.
Yeah.
99% of the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
So I had a partner, and this guy, cool guy before, but then once we got into this gym, he got caught basically.
Wait, he got caught doing what?
Bad stuff with a student, and the student happened to be underage. So
okay, for all of you fuckers out there that do that, you're giving us all a bad name, man.
Yeah,
I love kids. I love kids. I have a blast with the kids, but you guys are all giving us a bad name. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it.
You want to know what this guy's regular job was?
Oh no, school teacher.
No, it wasn't that.
That's worth a shot.
I actually had a high school teacher who got caught on what was the Chris Hansen show.
Why don't you have a seat over there?
Yeah, I had a high school math teacher who was on that. Like, we're watching the show and we're like, holy shit.
That's
well, anyways,
anyway, what did he do?
He worked for the LA County Sheriff's Department. He was a correctional officer in Men's Central Jail. He got arrested at work. So what happened was he got caught by the girl's dad, going at it, and kind of walked in on him, and then that was it. That's all.
So
when that
school closed,
yeah. So when that happened, I said, well, leading up to that. So what I was going to say was, before all that happened, I knew that, I always wanted to do Muay Thai. So now that I'm like driving, I'm old enough. I'm driving back and forth to my school, to my academy, teaching classes and stuff. I would like going from I lived in San Dimas, so I would drive to Yucaipa, and I was passing through Rancho Cucamonga, and I saw a sign Muay Thai that way. Like had an arrow pointing at it. I was like, oh shit,
nice.
Let's go check this out. I'm gonna go see what's up with that. So I go check it out, and there's a gym called Body Shots in Rancho Cucamonga with William the Bull Sriapai.
Oh yeah, I know William.
Yeah, so I went in there, checked it out, talked to William and stuff, and I was like, hey man, I train Hapkido. I've always wanted to train Muay Thai. I want to come check it out. And so I went and started training there. So I was like a couple months in, like training there, maybe 2 months, 3 months, something like that, training with William, and had my first smoker. And
so to let you guys know, if you guys are not like in the Muay Thai scene, a smoker is a fight, but it's not sanctioned like with commission there and everything like that. But there's a difference between smokers here in Texas and smokers in California. When I fought smokers in California, I knocked people out to sleep. That's it. It was a fight. There was judges, there was a winner, there was a loser, and everything. Here, it's just sparring.
Yeah, no, but anyways, it was kind of like we governed it on our own, right? Like we had people like knowledgeable in the sport who were refereeing, who were judging, and doing all. And in the gyms, for the most part, we all had like nurses or like people, students who are paramedics, on hand in case things happen.
I did a lot of smokers in California. Like they had a paramedic and everything there. It just wasn't like commission. Commission wasn't part of it.
So I was training with William, and then Walter had just opened up his school, and I didn't really know Walter at this time.
Walter Michalowski, which is Sityodtong. Still open.
Yep. And then had my first smoker there. Luckily, I didn't fight anybody who was training with Walter. And at this time, I mean, my skill level wasn't there. I was basically, I was just doing a lot of Hapkido stuff.
So let me ask you this. Whenever you went from Hapkido to the Muay Thai school, when you're 18, you're full of testosterone and everything. Did you have the whole, I'm going to whoop these Muay Thai guys' ass?
No,
I'm a black belt at Hapkido.
No, not at all. I mean, I was good. Even at that age, I was kind of like, I knew like I had a good base in Hapkido as far, and it taught me a lot of like discipline, respect, all the like positive benefits you get out of training martial arts. I knew that, but I knew I needed a little bit more. I wanted to fight. And I knew that there was a difference in like the Hapkido and karate style tournaments that I do into like, I'd watch boxing as a kid with my dad. I'd watch, Pride back in the day.
Don't say you were a kid when you watch Pride.
They feel old.
That makes me feel old as shit. Anyways.
So, I mean, I knew there was another side of things of martial arts where it was like more applicable into combat sports.
To like reality.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I started training with William, and he was like, hey, there's a tournament coming up. You want to do it? I was like, yeah, like at least let me see where I'm at. Like
the tournament was a smoker?
It was a smoker. Okay. Yeah. So it was like, in my head, I was like, you know what? I want to do it. And I want to see kind of like with what I got right now, with a couple months I already trained with him. And then with whatever I have with Hapkido, let me see where I'm at, compared to somebody else.
Absolutely.
So got matched up. Walter's, I still remember the flyer that they had. It was like looking at the flyer kind of gave me like butterflies in my stomach. I was like, oh my God, this is legit. Like this is real, because they had like two Muay Thai fight, like Thai guys on there, like neck kicking each other or something. And I was like, dude, I was getting excited about it. Right. So we go there, I get matched up. And this time I wasn't really running. I wasn't really doing anything like that. Just kind of went in there not really knowing what to expect, really. Go in there, have my fight. First round went all right, like a lot of back and forth maybe, but then the guy was getting the upper hand on me for sure. Second round, I was coming out a little bit stronger. And right at the end of the round, I did one of these like kicks where I just kind of like lifted my leg up straight up in the air, just like one of those stretches you do. And I happened to catch him like under his chin or like on his jaw or something.
Nice.
And then bing, the bell rang. Well, before I kicked him, he also clocked me with a hook, right? He clocked me with a hook, and I got an 8 count, started hearing like ringing in my ears. But
so before the bell rang, you got an 8 count. And then right before the bell rang, you threw that up kick to his chin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did that. And then
what happened to the dude? Did he fall down?
No, he didn't fall down, but he kind of like stumbled back. Bing, the bell rings. Round's over. Round 2's done. So I'm sitting in the corner. William's like giving me advice, giving me direction, putting like a cold towel on my face.
Like, look, do that kick again.
And for the life of me, I don't remember what he was trying to tell me. I just remember he threw like a cold towel over my face, like, yeah, and trying to wake up and everything.
Yeah.
And then, he goes, all right, last round, like, go, do this, do that. I get up, and then the other guy's not getting up. Like, he's just sitting in the chair. I'm like, please don't get up, dude. Please don't get up. Please don't. I'm tired. I'm tired of this. Hell, I'm like breathing out my ass. And they waved it off. He couldn't get. I think I hurt his jaw, or maybe dislocated his jaw. I'm not sure, but he just couldn't answer the third round. I got lucky. I got totally lucky. I won that fight. And then,
hey, if you threw that kick and it hit him, it's not lucky.
Maybe.
Okay, but it's lucky he didn't get up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
something like that too.
Yeah, I remember watching, the fights the rest of the night, and then a couple of Walter's guys fought, and one of my good friends, Brian Avalar, I remember specifically.
I know Brian.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Brian Pirata.
Yeah.
Remember watching Brian fight, and I'm like, dude, these guys are like really good, man.
Yeah.
These guys look good. And and then shortly after my first fight, that issue happened at the Hapkido school with my partner.
Okay.
Messing around with one of our students who was under the age of 18 and all that. And when that happened, I was like, you know what, man, I'm out. I'm out of this.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with it. Sold off my shares. We found like a new group of guys to come in and buy the school. Got out from there. And then from then on, just kind of, so then I stopped doing Hapkido completely, and I just focused on doing Muay Thai. And because that...
And you were still training with William?
No. So shortly after that was when, because I was driving from San Dimas to Yucaipa, William's gym was on the way.
Okay.
And I told William, I go, like, look, I'm not going to be going that way anymore. Yeah, you can have it. That's my daughter. I was like, look, I'm not going to be going that way anymore. I'm going to be spending a lot more time on, more towards the west side. I told him, like, I'm thinking about going to train at Walter's gym. Like, just wanted to get your blessing. And he was really cool about it. Talked to William about it. I was like, hey man, thank you so much for all the training. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. It's not going to be, convenient or, something for me to be coming out this way. I'm going to be spending a lot more time towards the west side. And I got a different job out that way. And I was like, I think about going and train with Walter. Like, what do you think? He goes, man, Walter's awesome. You should go train with him. And he put in the good word for me. And then, just by the luck of it, I have a lot of friends in Pasadena. My dad, through his friends, had friends who were friends with Walter. And one day we were just hanging out at my dad's, one of my dad's friends' mechanic shop. And Walter was there just hanging out with him and his crew, And
motorcycle crew?
Yeah. And so I was met Walter there and talked to him. He's like, yeah, man, come down, come train with us and everything. And there's a couple other Armenian guys that trained there that I knew. So bam, it just worked out. And I got really lucky to be able to train under him. And
how long did you train there?
From, let's see, what year was that when I started? 2000, maybe 2003, I think is when, 2003, 2004 is when he opened up his own gym.
In Pasadena?
Yeah, it might have been 2003.
I lived there at that time.
In Pasadena?
Not in Pasadena, in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was probably around mid 2003, I want to say.
All right.
Or maybe late 2003 is when he opened up. And that's when shortly after he opened up is when I started training with him. Cause that was his first, the smoker I fought on at his gym was the first one he had shortly after opening. And then it was not too long after that when I started actually training at his gym.
Man, I might have fought on that smoker.
Maybe.
That one that when he first opened, because he had two gyms in Pasadena, right?
Yeah. The first one was on, right in between Rosemead and, Michelinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that little corner little spot.
Right.
Yeah. That's the small one.
I think I might have fought on the same show that you fought on.
Probably.
On the same one. And the guys got all mad at me because I taunted some kid. Some kid rocked me and And I went like this, and he took a swing. And then they go, oh, he's too experienced and all this. And I wasn't. I was just playing.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I didn't get caught. You know? Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So I started training with him, I'll say like 2004.
All right.
And then I remember it was like 3 months in or so, something like that. 3 months in, they're like, hey, we're doing a trip to Thailand. And I was like,
yeah,
dude, I'll sell my kidneys to go. Like, I don't care.
Right.
You know, I'm going to make this trip, and did whatever I could, begged my parents, you know, to let me go, to just give me their blessing to go. And, made it out to Thailand with them and just changed.
What did you do? What camp did you? I mean, Sit Yatong. Duh. Okay, let me rephrase that. Sit Yatong. When you guys went to Sit Yatong,
Well, we went to
fight. Did you fight out there?
No, not at that time.
At that time.
At that time, for me, fighting in Thailand was like, no, I'm not at that level yet, bro. Like, I just, you know,
every time I fought in Thailand, I wasn't at that level.
Yeah,
but what the hell?
yeah, exactly.
It, you know,
but at that time, it was just like, no, like, no, I just want to go train. I want to go check it out and all that.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about fighting over there yet. But yeah, it was like right around 2004. So where did we train? We went out there, and, you know, before we went to Sit Yatong, we were in Bangkok. We trained with Hippie Singh Mani.
Yeah.
We trained with
Hippie's awesome. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love to watch that guy.
Jalantong, Ket Banchong, we trained with him. Yeah, then we made it out to Sit Yatong camp and train out there.
Dude, I'll tell you a crazy story about Walter Michalowski. I was in Thailand. What was I there? I may have been fighting on the King's birthday. I don't know. I think it was that time I was there. I went there a bunch of times. But I was at Lumpini, the old Lumpini. And I'm like, I'm just there by myself. I'm going to Lumpini. I'm going to go watch fights. I'm at Lumpini, and I hear, what's up, Mark? I'm like, what the? And it's Walter. He's standing right here in Lumpini. I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. So he was with Crew Sit Yatong, and I met him that night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a super nice guy, you know? But yeah, I saw Walter. You know how
What
crazy
year was
it
that?
is? Yeah, I think it was 04. Maybe it was, I think it was 04.
If it was 04, that's the trip we went on.
I see. I told you. That's crazy.
Yeah, if it was 2004.
I think it was 2004. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure though. I've been hitting the head a lot. I don't remember. Because I fought on the King's birthday in 2007, but I don't think it was that trip. I think it was the one before. Yeah, I think it was 2004.
Yeah. Then it was probably, we were probably all sitting there watching the fights.
Man, we've been in the same room. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So after you did LA, I mean, what brought you to Texas, dude?
Ooh, so that's a huge jump, right? That's going from 2004 to 2016.
Oh, well, hell.
Yeah.
What'd you do? I mean, were you fighting in between then?
Yeah. So
I mean, how many fights you got?
total about 30.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had about 10, doing the smokers, doing a couple of amateur fights in Southern California. For me, after that first Thailand trip, for me it was just like, how do I live here long term? And really, I wanted to dedicate as much time as I could to living out there and training. And I fell in love with the lifestyle. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys don't go to work, you guys just train.
Man, I wish I would have thought of that. Like, I have friends, Dorian Price, Willie Whipple.
Yep.
Like, I have a bunch of people that I know that did that.
Yeah.
But I didn't even think of that back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think of it. We didn't have internet or anything like that. It was just like, man, I could just stay here and fight. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
But I didn't think of it.
At that time I thought it wasn't even possible. Like, well, it doesn't make sense. Like, how would I do it and whatever? Well, it was really hard coming back from Thailand that first trip. Like at the airport, we're all bummed out. We're like, what the fuck? What am I going to go back to? Go back for a while. I want to be out here training and do that. So it was just always kind of like in my head, like, all right, how do I need to, maybe learn how to make money online or something.
I still want to learn how to do that.
Yeah, it wasn't my calling, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was training with Walter, getting fights, doing smokers, and getting on a couple like little amateur shows and here and there. And then I was always in and out of work, in and out of the gym a lot of times. And right around 2010, I had my first marriage, and that failed. Around 2009, when that failed, I was like, you know what, I got to focus on me.
That was in LA.
That was in LA. I was still in LA at that time. I was running a Thai restaurant with.
You were running a Thai restaurant?
Yeah, we owned a Thai restaurant with my first wife.
Nice.
And and I was coaching Muay Thai on the side and doing the restaurant. Just kind of like not really in a. I wasn't really happy. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't doing what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So 2009, kind of we separated, divorced and all that. And I was like, you know, I need to focus on myself and actually pursue the passion that I really wanted to do. If I don't do it now, you know, I'm already like 20 something. I'm not going to be able to do it later. So just then I made the decision, you know, and we had gone back to Thailand a couple times after that. I had gone a few times with my wife. So I'd always been out there, and every time I went, I would try to train as much as I could, even if I went with my wife. I went with Walter a couple of times. So 2009 was the last trip I took with Walter, and had a fight out there in Patti at Tepasit Stadium.
Was that the picture of you doing the Y crew?
The one you posted for the thing was no, that picture was from Malaysia when I fought in Malaysia.
Oh, you fought in Malaysia?
That was
Dope. I've never been there.
That was after I moved to Thailand. So 2009, we had a trip with Walter. We went to Thailand. Had my first fight in Thailand at Tepasit Stadium. I fought like a guy from Norway or something like that. I won, and I felt like the best I've ever felt, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like,
do know, yes.
and I was like, man, and that solidified it for me. I was like, this is it. Now I know, like this is what I got to do. I don't have anything, like any wife or anything at home, nothing like that. No real job or nothing that I'm tied to. I came back home, sold everything that I could sell except my guitars. And sold all the stuff I could sell, get some money. And I was working, trying to save as much money as I could. And I was like, I'm going to go. I'm going to move to Thailand and see what happens.
And did you?
Yeah. My plan was to stay at least 3 months. I was like, I'm going to give myself 3 months and we'll see what happens. I knew I had enough money that I could stay for 3 months, you know? Okay. So what was it? March, April, I think it was like May 2010. I'd bought my ticket for May 2010, moved out there. And, you know, through having, you know, the restaurant, made a few other like Thai contacts and stuff. And I had friends of friends. So the chef in my restaurant, he hooked me up with some of his friends. And when I first moved out there, they offered to come pick me up. And in Korat, Thailand, kind of like north of Bangkok, they have some land. They had a little resort that they were building out there. They're like, yeah, come stay with us before you start your training and all that stuff. Come stay with us. And I didn't know where I was going to train. Siatong just didn't work out the way they're doing things over there. It just didn't work out for me because the amount I had to pay to be there and all that stuff. I don't think they were interested at that time in having foreigner fighters stay at the camp and represent them. You know what I mean? I do know
there's a lot of camps. I mean, not that much anymore.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of camps that like don't want foreigners, you know?
Yeah. And a lot of it was like that back then, but now it's changed. The scene has changed a lot now.
Yeah.
Well, I went out there without really knowing where I was going to train, what I was going to do. And I knew once I get out there, I'll figure it out. I knew I was pretty comfortable knowing that. I spoke very little Thai, enough to just kind of barely get by. And so I moved out. I went out there, stayed for like a few days with this family. And they go, well, tomorrow I'll take you to this boxing gym that I know about. And they drove me there the next day. It ended up being like the national, the gym where the Thai national boxing team trains at. Not the Muay Thai team, but the Thai national boxing team. So they drove me there. The guy that drove me there just didn't really know where to take me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So we go there and I check in. I was like, dude, this place is pretty cool. It's like a nice little facility and all that. And we asked, they asked like, can he train here? It's like, well, this is boxing. He wants to do Muay Thai, and this is only for the Thai national team. So that didn't work out. So no problem. And then he goes, don't worry, I know another gym. I'll take you there tomorrow. Okay. I know another place. And turns out that gym was Lukprabat. And Lukprabat I was like, man, why does that sound familiar? And I heard of that before. Remember Knockweed, referee Knockweed.
Of course. He's awesome.
Yeah. So
I think I still have red handprints on my back from that guy.
so it was Luke Prabat was the camp that Knockweed had trained at when he was younger.
Yeah, nice.
And that's the town Saraburi is where Knockweed was from. And so I remember, oh shit, that's where Knockweed trained. So I remember going there, and I called Knockweed, and I told him, like, hey, like, look where I'm at, like, and tell him where I'm at and everything. He's like, oh, good, like, say hi to Ging Tong for me and this and that. So he takes me to this camp, and I pull up, and it's like, it was such a old school looking. I mean, it was just a concrete floor. It was a ring in the middle of it. On one side, there was like maybe 2-3 heavy bags hanging, ripped apart, like bags hanging. And then the other side, they had one bag, and they had like this old like bench press machine and a couple of like dumbbells and things like that.
Yeah.
And we pull up, and it was like the record stopped. Like everyone's like looking at me like, who the fuck's this guy? Right. And basically just told them, yeah, I just really want to train, and like, can I train here? And they're like, yeah. They gave me, they let me train. I paid, they told me to pay. I don't mind paying.
How much? I mean, you probably don't remember exactly.
I don't remember exactly, but whatever it wasn't much. Like, it wasn't,
right.
Because it wasn't a gym that they had a lot of foreigners coming. There was like no foreigners there. And
that's the best gyms to train at.
Yeah. I mean, you can get good training at both kind of gyms, right?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Like John Wayne Parr was a huge influence, like knowing his story and kind of following him.
He's awesome.
Right. And knowing his story, kind of like, I love that story. And I was like, man, they really influenced my drive and wanting to train and live in Thailand, kind of just immerse myself deep into the Muay Thai training, the Muay Thai life. So at Luke Prabat, dropped me off. Whatever it wasn't much. I probably paid like $500 for the whole month.
Yeah, awesome.
They, like, for food, for a room. They gave me like my own little room, and for the training and all that. And dude, that was fucking changed my life forever. Just being there. I was there for a good while, man. So 2010 was when I moved there, and I was there for 2 years. Like, I was living there for 2 years.
Wow.
Luke Prabat had some management issues, like the owner of the camp and the manager weren't getting along. So sometime after that, they had a little split. And so when they were going through some issues, I ended up going back to Bangkok, and I hit, because I trained with Hippie before. So I hit up Hippie, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be in Bangkok, and I'm going to come visit you and say what's up. So I went to go visit Hippie, and he goes, hey, tomorrow I'm going to Koh Samui. You want to come? And I was like, yeah, well, I got nowhere to train right now, so fuck it, let's go. I was like, I told him, like, I don't have much money, but I'm down to go. He's like, oh, no, don't worry about money. Like, you can go, and you want to fight? You could fight and you make money. And I was like, fight in Koh Samui? He's like, yeah. He's like, I called the promoter. He called the promoter right there. He's like, hey,
nice.
You want to fight? Hey, you got to fight? I got a guy this weight, whatever. So, like, I hadn't trained for, I don't know, a week, couple weeks or whatever, because I was in between gyms. And so we go to Koh Samui, man.
Awesome.
And puts me to fight. I fight this Thai dude, smaller than me, but like really good,
Yeah.
And over there, a lot of times, like if you're not fighting like the big shows, you're not really weighing in. You know what I mean? You're just kind of like, hey, you and you.
Hey,
okay.
Take shirt off. Take your shirt off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. You go.
No, motherfucker. No. Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, this guy was good, like much more experienced than I was, right? I lost a 5-round fight, lost a decision to the guy, and Hippie was like, "Oh, no worry. You'll rematch 3 weeks. 3 weeks, you rematch him."
All right.
I was like, okay. So we go back, and I'm staying with Hippie, because now I have a fight scheduled, so I'm staying with him.
That's a dope story. I have a lot of stories that start like that. Somebody says, "Let's go," and you're like, "All right,
fuck it, let's go."
Let's go. That's awesome.
Right. So after Hippie's like watching me fight, he goes, "You're gonna win by punching next time," because I wasn't punching the guy that much.
Because he was watching you.
He was watching me fight.
Nice.
I was trying to outscore the Thai guy fighting like
Thai
a Thai
style.
guy, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, you need to punch more to win him, and you'll win for sure. Because I wasn't punching that much. So he goes, I'm gonna bring Sagat to train you.
Wait,
I was like, wait, what? What do you mean? Like Sagat? So him and Sagat were real close. And I don't know if they, you know, Hippie does other stuff, you know, outside of Muay Thai too. So I don't know if, I didn't ask questions. You know what I mean? I was just there. I was training. I was happy. And I don't know what other jobs they had, what other they did, but Sagat and him were real close. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to bring Sagat to train you. And for like 3 weeks straight, I was doing nothing but boxing training with Sagat.
Dude, that's
like,
awesome.
Enough to where like my knuckles were bruised and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And Sagat, well, dude, he's intense. He is intense. Yeah, really, really cool. Very fortunate I got to have that experience. Just right place, right time type of thing. And I got to train with Sagat for like 3 weeks straight. Sagat taught me, funny story at the end of this too. Sagat taught me like his Y crew, which he was like really well known for. Like he had a really beautiful, elaborate Y crew, and he was teaching it to me. He wanted me to do it and all that stuff for my fight. He couldn't make it to the fight that day. He had something else going on. So we go back 3 weeks later. We go with Koh Samui. I'm going to rematch the same guy. And, you know, I'm more nervous about doing the Y crew than the actual fight. I was pumped for the fight.
I'm going to fuck this up.
Because it was, Sagat had like he was really particular in the ways he wanted me to move my arms and, you know, do the whole dance and all that. And it was really like nerve wracking on that part, not the fight part. And I went into that fight like probably the most confident I've been into any fight. And I was like, I already knew I was going to win this fight. Like I could see it playing out in my head. And I played it out millions of times in my head. I knew I was going in confident, you know, not cocky, but, you know, confident in my skills now that I got to train with freaking Sagat. So we get up in the ring, start the Y crew, and I'm so nervous that I fucked it all up. I fucked up the Y crew. And I did like half of what Sagat showed me. And then I finished the other half of just what I was comfortable with and what I knew already. And then before I got back, like Hippie wasn't working my corner. He was sitting in the stands. And just walking back to my corner, I kind of made eye contact with Hippie, and I could see the disappointment on his face. Oh. I could see how pissed off he was. I was like, oh no. Like, oh no, I fucked up.
Damn it.
I fucked up. Right. And so anyways, continue on with the fight. I'm pretty sure like first round went great. Second round went great. And I think it was...
Wait, I'm pretty sure. You don't know?
You know, a lot of times I have a hard time remembering details of my fights, but I'm pretty sure it was a third round. It was a third round knockout, and with hands, right? I knocked him out with punches. And I was like, okay, at least I redeemed myself. I got the win, you know, come back to the corner, you know, get out of the ring. We're back in the locker room, and the Hippie walks up to me. He's like, well, what are you doing, man? Like, well, what happened? Why did you didn't do the Y crew? Sagat showed you. Like he was really hurt, like disappointed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I could feel. I was like, I'm like, but I won. Like I won. I won the knockout.
He didn't care.
He's like, no. Like he was so pissed, and like I could get goosebumps now thinking about it. And I was like, man, I'm really sorry. I got nervous. You know, like I got really nervous, and I didn't. He was just like, my pilai.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's kind of a now.
Yeah,
it's like a respect thing.
Yeah,
like, and it's like I gave you a piece of my heart.
Yeah. So and that stuck with me until last year, 2019, when I took my team out to Thailand, and we went to go. So I'll fast forward a little bit. So from then, you know, fast forward to like 2019, last year in November, I took my team out from here. We went out. Took them out to Thailand. Let's go train in Thailand and all that, right? And of course, like I took them to go see Hippie. Took them, you know, to some of the.
It's Hippie Sigmani. Just type his name into YouTube and watch, and then come back and watch the rest of this.
Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't get as much recognition. He's not.
Well, I mean, like golden era boxers, Muay Thai guys. people should be looking them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was like it was a great time for Muay Thai. You know,
Yeah.
there wasn't as much gambling, and they were really fighting.
Yeah.
They were fighting till the end.
Yeah.
You know, and just look all these guys up. You'll see them, and you'll be like, oh, that's why they like Golden Era stuff.
Yeah. So like to pay my respects to Hippie, go out, go visit. He's still in the same spot that I remember that he was at last time.
Yeah. Nice.
It's a really cool story too. Like we go out there and, he's got his kids running around outside, and I was like, is Hippie here and all that? And they're like, oh, he'll be here in a little bit. But they called him. I talked to him. I was, yeah, I'm coming. So he pulls up, and like one of the first things he mentioned to my students was like,
shit.
Alex, he messed up the white crew that one day.
That's all you fucking remember.
Yeah.
God damn, you don't
And I was
remember
like,
me blasting that dude and winning the fight. Well, okay.
I was like, Hippie, bro, I'm so sorry, man. And I traveled all this way. I wanted to bring my students here to meet you and all that stuff. And we kind of made up after that, we kind of made up, and we went out to eat with Hippie and everything, hung out for a little while. And
that time when you guys went, you brought students with you.
Yeah.
How many students did you bring?
I took 4 of my students, and they're 4 of my the people who've been with me the longest.
And where were you guys at that time? Like, where was your school at?
At On It. That's last year when I was still working at On It.
On It is in Austin, right?
Yeah.
We're in Austin now.
Yeah.
Does Joe Rogan own a piece of On It, like the company itself?
I hear that, but I mean, I don't know. I don't.
Hey, Joe, you know me. Hit me up. Tell me if you own it. I do the, I don't know, the Focus. I have it in my bag, but I take some On It stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he had a piece of it. So
probably, I don't know. I mean, people have said that, but
yeah, I mean, I've heard that too. I don't know if he does, but whatever.
Yeah.
So did they fight out there?
No,
or they just went out there to train.
We went out there to train.
Cool.
Yeah, we were only out there for like 3 weeks or so.
Cool.
It was just like this trip we took. Just these guys have been training really hard and train with me for the last 3 years. I was like, hey, it's time. Like we gotta go out. Let's do a trip. And we had planned this trip for a while earlier in the year. And we went and we trained with went out to Hippie's camp for a day. But then we spent a lot of time. Most of the time, we spent a week at like Samat's gym.
Bro, I trained with Samart at Michalowski's gym.
Yeah. Were you there when Samat?
He's a ninja, straight ninja.
Yeah. Were you there when you were there when Samat and his brother Gongtalani came, right?
I don't know. I think it was just Samart. I only trained with Samart.
There was one time.
Maybe
there was one time when we had. It was like the first time ever the two brothers Samat and Gongtalani come out, and they did a seminar at Walter's gym. Gongtalani is like, Samat's great, he's the GOAT, but like Gongtalani was like my favorite. Yeah. And I was really lucky that the first trip when we went to Thailand, I got to train with Gongtalani there. Just a really cool dude, man. Really quiet guy. Kind of gets a little overshadowed by his younger brother because Samat's fame from singing and all that stuff afterwards. But man, Gongtalani was a great dude, and he was the one that kind of helped me get into. So when I was living in Thailand, and I went to Singapore for a little bit because with Evolve and all that, and he was over there coaching at Evolve. He's like, hey, you should come out here and see if you can train and live here in Singapore. He's like, the money's good. There's a new gym. It's going really great. Come out here. So he put in a good word with Chatri and got in contact with him, and he brought me out there to train a little bit. Actually, I got on the Evolve fight team. Was it
an MMA team?
It was just the Evolve fight team. They had they wanted me to eventually fight MMA. Like I didn't have a huge. I started training jiu-jitsu at Evolve. Okay.
You still train jiu-jitsu?
I haven't for a while, but I did.
Me neither. I had a whole thing, but
yeah.
But I love jiu-jitsu.
I love jiu-jitsu too. I love it. And, so I started training jiu-jitsu there, and like Gongtalani was there, and I was staying with him. And Chatri was like, "Yeah, your Muay Thai is good, but your jiu-jitsu sucks." I go, "I know. I've never trained jiu-jitsu." He's like, all right.
Well, I don't fucking like jiu-jitsu. It's not going to be good if I don't like it. Yeah.
He's like, train jiu-jitsu every day. I was there. We were there for like 2-3 weeks, something like that. And then he had me go back to Thailand while he was working on a visa for me to be able to stay there long term. And then I was just not able to get a visa in Singapore is what happened. And then that avenue didn't pan out.
So you had to come back home?
No, I just went back to Thailand and continued the journey in Thailand.
Yeah.
So that was like
just without the visa?
Yeah. So no, I went from Thailand, I went to Singapore for a month.
Right.
That didn't work out. So I came back.
Oh.
Yeah. So we were in Thailand. Thailand. We went to Singapore for a month, came back. The visa was taking a long time. So he brought us back out for 2 weeks. And then it still didn't work out. So then after that, and he was like, yeah, sorry, we just can't get you a visa. It's like, oh, shit. But journey continued, stayed in Thailand as long as I could.
Yeah, it used to be, man, they didn't give a shit how long you stay in Thailand. I don't care. You're here for a year.
Yeah, back
visa,
then
they don't care.
Yeah, visa runs were just part of your life.
But now they're throwing people out. Where's your visa? Nope, you got to go.
Yeah,
like it's a crazy thing.
Yeah, so over there, when I was there, most of the time I was lucky to where I didn't have to do a bunch of visa runs all the time. I fought in Malaysia. So when I went and came back, I flew in.
Right.
I renewed my visa.
Nice.
Or I fought in New Zealand, came back, renewed my visa.
I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. Dude.
New Zealand's beautiful.
I know. And New Zealand and Iceland, but I've never been there. Awesome. You fought in New Zealand. Yeah?
That was an experience. That's another story.
Yeah. Did you fight a Ray Cepho?
No. I fought freaking what was his name? Chapman. No, you know him. What was his name? It's not coming to me right now. He was like one of the biggest New Zealand kickboxers, Muay Thai fighters. I can't remember. Choppa. They called him Choppa something.
Oh, dude. I think I know.
Look it up.
I don't know.
Look it up real quick.
Let me look it up.
Why can't
my phone or nothing?
Shane Chapman? Is it Shane Chapman?
Choppa. I don't remember, but it sounds familiar.
So I had no idea who I was fighting. So at this time I was kind of really low on funds, and had this guy getting fights for me. It was kind of really like a sketchy dude, right?
Wait, hold on.
This is never. I know it's not heard of. You've never heard of anything.
Wait, you're trying to tell me that a promoter is a fucking shady dude?
Yeah,
sure.
It's hard to believe. I know it's hard to believe.
Shane Chapman.
Shane Chapman. So I mean, he's fought. You could see you see who he's fought. So they get this fight for me in New Zealand. They go, hey, you want to fight in New Zealand? I go, yeah. Who am I fighting? They go, oh, just some guy, some old guy or something. Shane was probably towards like maybe an end of his career, maybe, or making a comeback or something like that. And I didn't have a name. All I knew was I'm gonna go fight in New Zealand. And I'm gonna make like a couple grand. And I was like, shit, I need the money, so I'll fight. Fuck it. Like, who am I gonna fight? They didn't tell me a name. I did a lot of dumb stuff like that. I would not recommend anybody do.
Well,
as far as like fight career goes.
Nowadays, look, back in those days, same with me. They ain't gonna tell you're gonna fight.
Yeah.
But nowadays you have the internet. You can look people up and do all that stuff, do research and all that. Back in those days, who are you fighting? Somebody your same weight. That's who you're fighting. Get the fuck out of here. Go train. Yeah. That's just how it is, And then you look over and Yotsenklai's over there. You're like, oh, great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit. But you're already in the ring. You just go do it, And I know. I've been there.
So, well, the New Zealand story gets bad and doesn't really get good. So, I board my flight.
Let's give it up. Let's go.
I board my flight, and mind you, they go, well, a lot of these international fights, when a lot of guys who are living out in Thailand and fighting international, if you weren't fighting on like these high profile fights or whatever, you didn't have a corner team coming out with you. You just, when you're out there, you would have somebody, sometimes a handler that was taking the group out there. They would just corner you, right? So I go out there, and somebody's supposed to pick me up from the airport, and I'm in New Zealand. I'm at the airport. I'm kind of like sitting there waiting. I figured somebody would have a sign with my name on it or something like that, right? Nobody's there. Like nobody with a sign or nothing. I'm like, all right, fuck. Like, what the fuck do I do? You know, I'm sitting in the airport for now a few hours, you know? Okay, at this time, I didn't have a smartphone. Like, I had like one of those old Nokia brick phones, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So, I'm sitting there like, all right, what the fuck do I do, dude? Like, have like a few dollars in my pocket. There was a McDonald's. I was like, fuck, I don't want to eat that shit right now. I gotta like go and weigh in, you know? Like, I don't know. So after a couple hours, I was able to, you know, ask somebody if I could use their computer. I kind of told them a little bit of my story. Like, somebody was supposed to come pick me up. I'm just kind of a little stranded. I logged into my Facebook and tried to like just see what I could do. I had a message from this guy from New Zealand who I had met on a fight that we went to in Iran before. He was from New Zealand, and he was like, "Hey, bro, are you fighting this weekend in New Zealand?" And I'm like, I work for the promoter, and we've been looking for you, and when he showed me your name, I didn't put two and two together until now. So I was like, "Dude, I'm at the airport. Please come pick me up." So he came over.
Holy shit, that's some good luck too.
It was good luck.
Yeah,
it was.
Sure.
And then he came, picks me up, takes me to the gym. He's like, "Dude, you missed the weigh-ins and this and that." I go, you know, we're still going to make this happen.
What the fuck? You left me at the airport. What do you want me to do?
And he's like, "Well, the promoter was there to pick you up. I guess he didn't see you or something." I'm like, "I've been sitting right here." We pull up to the guy's gym for him to check my weight. Weigh-ins all done at this point anyways. The promoter's like a Asian dude, little Asian, maybe, I think he was a Chinese guy. And he goes, "I saw you at the airport." I'm like, "Why didn't you say nothing?" He goes, "I didn't think you were the opponent. I didn't know." Like, I'm like, "Why? Like, what the?" He goes, "You're so much smaller than Shane."
Oh, that's a great thing to hear. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks,
and I go,
dude.
"Shane?" He goes, "You're fighting Shane Chapman." I go, "Get the fuck out of here." I'm what? So I'm wearing my jeans. I got my backpack on and everything. He's like, okay, just weigh in. We'll get it all figured out, right? I'm like, fuck, dude. All right. I take off my backpack. About to, take off my jeans to weigh in my underwear and stuff. He goes, no. Keep your jeans on.
Because you're not big enough.
I'm like, are you serious? He said, it's fine. Just keep your jeans on. Keep your shoes.
How much more did he weigh?
So when I was living in Thailand, I wasn't as big as I am now, obviously, but I was fighting around 76 kilos. Do the math. It was like
I know 70 kilos is 154.9. Yeah.
So I was anywhere at my lowest, maybe 165 to like 175, I would say. The fight, I guess, was set at 86 kilos, something like that.
Like 200.
Yeah, because at that time, that wasn't Shane's normal fighting weight. But he was a lot bigger at that time. And if I was like, 2000, maybe 11 or so.
It's 190 pounds, 189.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So they had me weigh in with all that. Promoter goes here. He's like, he gave me like maybe $100 or something. He's like, go get some food.
Go eat. You should eat before weigh-ins.
Go eat. So my buddy over there that picked me up, he was like, I had no idea because they wrote my name wrong on the poster. They put Alexander, and I think they must have spelled my last name wrong or something. And he was like, yeah, I saw the name and just I didn't even think it would be you. Just like they fucked up on the poster or whatever. And he trains with Shane. He's like, man, I don't know what to tell you right now. I'm like, dude, fuck it. I don't care. Like, I just want to get this over with, let's go. Let's just get it done. Let's go eat. Fucking, I'm tired, dude. I've been traveling from Thailand to New Zealand, sitting at the airport for hours on end. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Let's just go eat. He's like, what do you want to eat? I don't care. Just, let's go get some fucking food. He's like, I'm going to take you to this good steak place. So we got a really nice steak. Go back to the hotel, and I just chilled over there. I was sharing the hotel with another team, Bruce McAfee.
Why do I know that name? Why do I know this guy?
He was a very popular Australian fighter. He always had like different colored hair when he fought.
Man, I know this guy.
Preacher. They call him Preacher.
I know him somehow. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, he was there, and I kind of told him the story of what's going on. He's like, man, I'll help you. I'll corner you and all that stuff. So the next day he wrapped my hands and all that. But this was something I was like a lot for the longest time. I was really like embarrassed kind of that I put myself into this situation. But, you know, looking back on it now, it was a huge learning experience. But by the time it came to fight day, I had defeated myself 100 times already.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, dude, I'm going to go out. I'm going to get slaughtered. They fucking set me up for this. It was like the shittiest feeling ever. And I wouldn't want anybody to feel like that. You know what I mean? And I didn't have like a positive person talking to me that time, telling me, no, like trust in your training, this, you know, you got this, whatever. I was there alone, basically. So leading up to the fight, I was like, dude, like I'm done. Like cattle going to the slaughter, basically. Get up into the ring. I'm already like shaky knees, everything he touched me with, I just felt like I made him in my head.
You made him bigger than
what he was, you know? And I was like, I walked into the ring afraid and just got crumbled, you know? And fucking walked out of there, and people were like, oh, fucking booing me and shit because I'm from America and all that. I was like, but that's not even an issue or whatever. I already expected stuff like that to happen, fighting in Iran and everything. But went through that fight, and I was like, dude, I'm not this promoter. I'm gonna fucking lay into him when I get back. Like, you motherfucker, dude. How do you send people out like that? You're a piece of shit, you know? You're fucking horrible.
Well, I mean, that's the same word as promoter, right?
Huh?
Isn't that the same word as promoter?
No, it was the promoter of the show wasn't the guy I had an issue with, because there was a guy in Thailand, a Thai dude, who was working with him to send fighters over. So the communication between the promoter in New Zealand with the handler guy in Thailand was muddled. So it was just they didn't get me the information I needed to make a wise decision in my fight career. They were just like, we need a body to go and get his ass kicked by the hometown guy.
So they do this all the time.
Oh yeah.
And the problem is people don't realize it. So look, if you know they're setting you up, like, okay, me against Yotzenklein, they're setting me up, and I know this, but you know this in your head, and I'm going to get into it anyway, and I'm going to try to get in his ass. I'm supposed to lose anyway, so I'm going to try to sleep him.
Yeah.
If I sleep him, I win, but I know this going in, then it's fine. The problem is with most fighters, they say, bro, I'm on this big show, dude. I'm like, really? Who are you fighting? And then they tell you, and I'm like, you don't understand. They're serving you to somebody, and you don't want to tell them that.
Yeah.
Then it's like them telling you, "Oh, dude, what?" You know, and it gets in your head.
Yeah.
But if you know that, and you're like,
this was me getting in my head mostly at that time.
Right,
you know,
but it's the same thing. You
like
got in your own head.
if I had my team, like, hey, you got this, man. Like, you know, hey, you said, like, hey, you're here, we're here. Let's fucking take it to him. You know, and kind of like help boosted that confidence in me up or whatever. You know, that would, could have gone different. I don't know. My fucking guy was big, strong. You know what I mean? But I didn't get hurt, so I was happy about that. It was just a learning experience. I've never felt like that before. Like I said, like in one of my fights, I walked into the ring confident as hell. Right, got in there really confident. This fight, total opposite. It was like the worst of the worst.
So
days.
whenever you fought well, you had to be confident when you fought well.
I mean, most of the time I was fairly confident going in, just because most of my fights were in the local scene in Thailand. Just, you know, so I always had my team there, and you kind of had somebody with you. You know what I mean? But the international,
I had to be nervous, dude. Like I had to be. If I wasn't nervous, I would just get fucking. I gotta be. Oh shit!
Yeah, I mean, I was always nervous for every fight. And I think people say, "Oh, I don't get." There was a point to where when you're fighting consistently.
Yes, if you fight consistently, the nerves aren't there. It's just
it's not the same. It's not the same. For me, I had the nerves. It was just more manageable, more controllable. I could think about what I had to do instead of just thinking about the nerves.
Right.
With the fight in New Zealand was more like I was talking myself down and just digging myself into this hole that I couldn't get out of. And but I mean, looking back on it was it was a huge learning experience for sure. You know, knowing what I know now, I would have handled it different, of course. But
me too. I handled a lot of shit different, but that's why my students are good.
Yeah,
because they don't have to go through that. Because I'll tell them, no, this is what they're doing to you.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to do it, or like if you know you're, like I said, if you know you're getting served up, okay, you want to try, and my students, fuck yeah, let's go. I mean, unless I tell them no, you're not doing it, But that's why we are better as coaches now.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of as coaches, what the fuck happened at the On It gym? Yeah, I said it. Throw you under the bus. Let's go.
No, it's fine.
What happened over there?
I don't mind talking about it.
All right.
So I moved to Austin for this job, On It hired me to come over and teach Muay Thai. We started off sharing the same space with the jiu-jitsu team that was there, and things were going well. The first year, memberships were going up. We started with nobody. There was no Muay Thai. 2016. Was it? Yeah, 2016 around November. Excuse me. November 2016. Get hired.
So you moved here for the On It gym.
Yeah.
So they called you and offered you a job. You came down here, checked it out, and you moved here for that gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were cool enough to help. They gave me some money for moving expenses and all that. Moved out here. My family, brought my family out here. Things are going great, really good. Memberships going up, all that stuff. The first 2 years or so, we were in the On It building, the regular On It building they have, and they already had a jiu-jitsu. They had 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu there already. I came in about a year and a half, maybe 2 years after the jiu-jitsu program. So we just kind of expanded, and once we had jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, and both programs just started blowing up. We're outgrowing the space that we had, and we couldn't really. Both programs needed to kind of expand on our offerings. So
that's a good problem.
Good problem, great problem. And so there was a spot across the parking lot from On It. We're in a big business park, and the building right in front had an open spot, and On It got us our own martial arts space. So that whole building basically was a 12,000 square foot building. They basically turned that into On It Gym MMA, and we had our own Muay Thai side, and then they had the jiu-jitsu side. So 2 separate mats instead of both programs sharing the same mat.
All right, nice, smart.
Yeah. So we get in there. Once we got in there, doing even better, right? Getting more members,
awesome.
Doing really cool. And by this point, I had my guys, Mikhail, Dallas, Oscar, Maria. So I had a solid team of assistants who would help coach a lot of classes. We had a lot of classes offering throughout the day, 6 a.m., 12:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, all these classes going on. And I had my team, helping out. So they're all, all getting paid, all that. Things are going good. And then that's why we had that trip in November. We're like, you know what? November, things usually in gyms slow down a little bit in November. And I had another team of people that I was training as assistants. So I was like, I'm gonna have you guys teach some classes while I'm gone. And we're going out to Thailand for about 3 weeks, I think is what we went. Cool. Everyone got it all set up. I had all the programming for them. Here's what you teach. They're going to be gone for these weeks. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Everything was set up. We go out to Thailand November. We come back, and it was like early December, the first week or leading into the second week. They pull me in on it. HR pulls me in and goes, "We are no longer going to offer martial arts. Thank you for your services."
No martial arts at all?
No.
Do they have martial arts there now?
No, it's no longer under on it. So they pull me into HR and they go, thank you very much for your 3 years of service or whatever, but on it's pulling away from all martial arts, what they call it, whatever it was, like they're just not going to be into the business.
Arts,
we're just not into the business of martial arts anymore. So thank you. And I'm like, I'm about to teach a class right now. I got my students come in. They're like, nah.
Like that?
Like that.
They didn't give you like not a day, nothing?
No, this was early December. I'm like,
holy shit.
I'm like, I got privates. I got privates that I got to do. I got classes today. I go, none of that's going down. And they're like, no, like you don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm like, and I'm like, well, what about jiu-jitsu? And then the jiu-jitsu guy goes, you don't have to worry about jiu-jitsu. Just, you can just grab your stuff and basically grab your stuff, get the fuck out.
Okay. So what really happened?
What really happened, what I found out later was Onnit gave the entire martial arts operation to 10th Planet. So they pulled out of martial arts. Onnit did pull out of martial arts, but they gave the whole operation to the jiu-jitsu dude.
And the jiu-jitsu dude wanted all the students. He didn't want any Muay Thai there, and he didn't want you there anymore.
No, he didn't want me there. No. So yeah, because if it was under, he's not going to pay me. He's not going to, he wasn't going to do that. So that was it. And I was like, well, all right, thanks. Right before Christmas. Thanks.
Yeah. Plus, I fucking moved out here for you guys. You know?
Yeah.
You could have given me a heads up or something.
Could have gave me a heads up. I dedicated, 3 years of my life, day in, day out.
Yeah.
That gym was my life.
Yeah.
And, but hey, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, with big businesses,
it was just very, it was like corporate, very corporate. I didn't think
cold corporate
bullshit. Yeah. So I was like, all right, whatever. It was getting to the point where it wasn't really, I had a feeling my days there were numbered anyways. And it was just something like, I wasn't surprised. I was like, really? Like now, right before Christmas?
Yeah.
And without a heads up, it was that kind of hurt, but I was like, oh, I'm not surprised, whatever. So then I was like, well, I got, all these members that, most of the time you go to a gym that you're working at a gym. For the most part, the students are dedicated to the coach, not so much the facility or the gym.
Yeah, I mean, look, these students that you lose that are just like, well, I'm just going to train here. Well, you just want somewhere to do cardio.
Yeah.
It's not really like someone that dedicated their time to you because they're your student,
Yeah.
That's how it is. It's the coach that's there that matters. It's not the facility. It could be the nicest facility in the world. Shit coach, I'm not training there.
Yeah.
I've trained in gyms in Thailand, dirt floors. They were dope.
Yeah.
So shit gym, great coaches. That's where I'm training.
Yeah. I sent a heads up, keep in touch with all like the group in our Facebook groups and all that stuff. So I sent a message out. I'm like, hey guys, sorry I had to go down this way, but I'm no longer there.
It wasn't your fault. You didn't make it go down that way.
Yeah. I'm no longer there. So,
but you opened your own place.
Well, before I opened my own place, I was like, hang tight guys. I'm going to look for my own spot. And I'll let you guys know when, I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on. So I hired a real estate agent to help me look for places and all that. And then in the meantime, we turned the garage into a little dojo. We laid some mats down and hung a couple bags in the garage and, had some people coming through the house and we're already up and running just in the house doing like, small group sessions and like little privates and all that. And then, maybe where we live right now might be too far away for some people, but a lot of people were coming and training and all that. So it was going pretty good. And then, went through a bunch of spots that just wasn't the right spot. And I didn't want to kind of force myself into into a spot that I wasn't really happy with, and kept the garage running for a little while. And then had a good friend and a student of ours who knew a friend who knew a guy who had this nice, this warehouse in a nice part of town. And so he put us in touch with him. We talked, made a deal, and it worked out. And so then, we decided, all right, well, March we'll sign the lease and we'll start March 1st. Cool. Bam. Signed all that up. March 1st comes along. We actually got the keys on like March 6th, something like that. Got the keys March 6th, start moving all our stuff. Okay, we're going to start remodeling. And then what happened?
COVID.
Boom. Another fucking left hook from hell.
Same. I went through. I went through and going through the same shit. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about this. Where's your gym at now? Lost Creek Boulevard. So Lost Creek. It's a really nice place.
It's a really nice part of town.
Yeah.
I like coming up Highway 360 is really nice driving up there. And it's pretty accessible, even though it's off of 360. So it's in the Westlake neighborhood. It's like west side of Austin, I guess. West Austin. Right off of Highway 360. Really nice neighborhood. Cool people all around there. So we started, and then we got the keys, and then we got locked down.
Man, I know. Same kind of shit happened to me. And the place that I own a gym too, you guys. I do Muay Thai. That's why we talked about Muay Thai for like 2 hours already. But anyways, I was like, look, I had a letter written that was eloquent, bro. It was from a lawyer about, the COVID hit and everything shut down. If you could take 3 months and put it at the end of the lease, you won't lose a dollar. But it was man, I'll send it to you, dude. You'd be like, whoa, that's dope. They were like, fuck you, pay me. I was like, what is this, Goodfellas? All right, whatever. So, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, man. Well, luckily I was able, our landlord's really cool. And we had already negotiated for those first 3 months to be free anyways. Nice. So my whole plan was, all right, March, April, May, free rent, right? We get in March, we take 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, remodel what we need to do to be able to lay the mats down, hang up some bags, and we'll do the rest as we're going. Right, we'll do all the other stuff. If we can lay down mats, hang some bags, we're money. We can train,
and that's all we need.
That's all we need.
Get some pads. Let's go.
Yeah, and in the garage, I already had a bunch of pads. Anyways, I already bought all that stuff and had all that already. So most of the equipment I had already. I needed to order mats and I needed to order more bags. Right. I had like 2-3 heavy bags, and that's it. So we're remodeling. We're the team's all in there helping out, remodeling, and bam, COVID gets. The lockdown gets pushed for another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was. Fuck. Well, let's keep remodeling. Let's keep training. Not open to the public, but we're in there remodeling and training. Well, we got pushed back again. Like, all right, fuck, dude, what the hell? Well, still free. The free months are still there, which was good, at least I didn't have to pay rent. But by this time, I was expecting, all right, I should have 20 students by now. I should have 30.
Those 3 months were to build the place 1 month, build enough students the second and the third month to where the fourth month you could pay the rent.
Now we're good.
Now we're good. That's the goal with those. It's not really free months. It's to build your business to where you could pay.
Yeah. Well, not like,
I get it.
Not really free. I mean, but
free.
Free.
Build out stuff. Right.
So, March, April, May, June comes along, and we were able to open what? We opened middle May, right? It was like May 18.
Yeah. Something like
May 18. We're able to open. Got some people coming back, but I was still not financially in the place where I could be like, June, here's your rent, dude. Like, here we go. We're in business. So
for sure.
I reached out to our landlord and I'm like, hey man, I really want to be a good tenant. I really want this all to work out, but you see what's going on. We were barely just able to open. Is there any way possible we can either do something, put this on the back end or whatever? And he was very accommodating and was, we're able to make a deal and work out. So, just really thankful for that,
Yeah, I mean, at least you had a cool guy. I mean, they should understand this. It's not only that we couldn't open. It's that a lot of my students lost their job, and then when they lose their job, I mean, the first thing that goes to gym. It's not like it's not food.
Yeah,
you need food.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was going to talk a little bit about that at the beginning, but I forgot. I was getting into your story there. So, what are you guys doing now about the COVID? Like, what are you doing with the gym? And are you open? And are you taking students?
So we're open right now for our members, and basically, like I'm
taking new members.
We are, but very cautiously.
Right.
I mean, so just kind of seeing what's going on, and once a week we'll have an opening for people to come in by appointment. We do everything by appointment. Yeah, that's pretty.
So if you guys are in Austin, you should train with Alex here. Make an appointment. Where do they go? What's the name of the place?
Muay Thai ATX, and then go to Muay Thai ATX. MuayThaiATX.com.
MuayThaiATX.com.
Yep.
All right, make an appointment. Check it out. I mean, I would train with him if I lived here. So there you go. How about that? Look, so it's pretty interesting, all the stuff you've done. And what's really interesting is I think we were in the same place at the same time on multiple occasions. Yeah. I don't even think we ever fucking knew each other.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right, cool. At the end of my podcast, I always do this. I have 10 questions I ask everybody, and they're the same questions, but the answers are always personal. They're always different.
Okay.
Right? So the first one, and this could be anything. Like I'm not only going to have Muay Thai guys on here. I'm going to have an electrician on here, whatever. I'm going to ask them this too. Like, what's your favorite move? And they'd be like, electrician move? Like, well, I don't know, something electricity. But anyways, in Muay Thai, since you love Muay Thai like me, what's your favorite move?
I think one of my favorites was always, I always loved using my teep. And I thought, I always knew the teep was like an underrated kick, and a lot of people wouldn't use it, but I use it very offensively, and I'll keep just digging it into your gut. And then faking the teep and throwing the teep, and just, I love the teep.
Okay, so show me.
All right,
let's go.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Alex is going to show me how he likes to beat people up.
All right, so one of my favorite things to do is the teep, and I use the teep to set up a lot of stuff. Like whatever else I want to do, I'll probably do it off the teep, right? All right. So they're coming in to attack. They come in, I'll try to pick them off with the teep. But eventually, you're going to teep. I use the lead leg mostly. And then you're going to teep, and they're going to get frustrated, but then they're going to be a little more privy to it, right? They're going to start parrying, they're going to start trying to catch it or whatever, but then you start just picking the leg up, because when you pick the leg up, you can see, okay, they're going to try to catch, or maybe they're going to try to slide out and parry, whatever, then you can kind of pick what you want to do there, right? Another thing with the teep, so if I'm teeping, right, and I'm getting them, and I see they're starting to try to defend it, I'll keep a little bit more distance away. When I keep a little bit more distance away, they might feel a little more safe, where they're maybe like, I'm not in range anymore to teep. And then I keep them busy up here, and then I can slide in and teep, right? So that's all just to frustrate them and get them pissed off, or get them trying to catch my leg, or whatever it is, right? But then with that slide, you could just pick up, like you're going to throw the teep, slide in, and then punch, or elbow, or anything you could do off of that, right? Sometimes they might even like shadow me, where once my leg comes up, they bring the leg up, and then you go for the sweep. One of my favorites. So a lot of stuff I like doing, setting it up off the teep like that. I'll give you one more too. This one you gotta kind of be a little smooth with it and not really show it too much. But when you're smashing the leg kicks, right? You get the leg kicks.
right? You're setting it up, bam, bam, you get them again. Again, you repeat it a few times, and if they're not checking it, great, you're gonna keep slamming the leg, right? But then you get the guys who they'll check it and they'll come with a big right hand, or they're giving you some kind of forward momentum. They check and they're coming. Like you're gonna kind of sense that, okay, I'm gonna kick, right, and he's coming, okay, right? So I'll throw other things, right? But then again, I'm gonna come back to the kick, and I want him to come in. So as I throw the kick, when I'm doing the setups, right, I'm getting the kick, and then I'm gonna kind of draw back a little bit, right? So the first one I get on him, boom, I got the kick, right? And you didn't count.
Okay.
So I got you, boom, and I'm giving this space, because what I want him to do is know that, okay, I got to really commit to this counter because he's kicking me and moving back, right? And if I'm moving back, I get him one time, maybe bang, and he's thinking he's gonna come. Okay. So he's really gonna be committed now. He's like, I'm not gonna get my leg smashed. I want to come and get him. So boom, right? He's coming. Let's go now this one, right? I go and then I cross his leg over, right? I don't throw the kick. I know that he's gonna block, so I just throw my leg. I pull the kick, and I cross just cross his leg over his body, so he'll fall. And then with my right hand, he's coming. As I cross, I'll keep this up so I can push down as well. And then it's just kind of like, it's not really something that'll hurt him physically, but maybe inside it hurts a lot, right? And it's just one of those things like, when they're not stable on their feet, then they're second guessing their strikes.
I did not see that coming. Brian,
so one of my favorites there. I can only get it on the guys maybe once or twice, and then they know. Right. But it's one of those little tricks that's fun to do.
Do it.
All right. So I get you one time, bam. Like if I'm teaching it, right? We'll go on like on 3. So 1, bam, I got you. Okay. 2, you attempted to block. Okay. Number 3, boom, boom. Yeah, you know it's coming, so it's hard, right? Yeah. When you know it's coming, it's hard. But the way you're gonna drill it, and if I'm teaching it, I'll tell them like, okay, you throw the leg kick, right? I'm gonna check it, and I'm trying to get you with the right hand. Boom, boom.
You're gonna put that weight.
Boom, boom. Yeah.
Because you put your weight there.
Yeah, because okay, so if you leg kick me,
yeah,
and I just check and I'm hanging back,
no,
then I'm not in any danger. Anyways, you're not in any danger of the counter. Absolutely. But the reason, the way you're gonna make them come to you is when you initially smash them with the leg kick, you're not here.
Yes.
So I go bang and I draw back.
Mm-hmm.
So when he knows that distance is there, he's like, fuck, I gotta get him.
I got a step.
I got a step.
Absolutely.
So you get it, boom, it's up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boom. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so that move was dope. I'm gonna do that to my guys. I'm gonna get you guys in that move before you watch this. Yeah, it was cool, man. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah. I like. I'm gonna do it with everybody, jiu-jitsu guys and everything. We can learn on this podcast too.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. Question number 2 is: what's your least favorite move of all the moves? What's something that you hate?
Spinning shit.
Yes.
Spinning shit.
I was gonna, dude, that's mine too. I was gonna say some shit, but you're Armenian, so I don't know.
The Armenians like spinning
they
stuff.
Do, bro. They do. And they're really good at it too.
But if, just because it's not my thing doesn't mean it can't be your thing.
Right.
If you're good at it, you do it and all that.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. It's just, there's people who are great at it and they make it work, and that's great. It just wasn't my thing, you know. You can't be good at everything.
See, my outlook on this, and this has all been about Muay Thai, but whatever. My outlook on this is I teach things that everyone can do, not just things that that guy can do it because he's a super ninja.
Yeah,
but you can't. You know, I teach things that every single person can do. The things that I teach. All you have to do is hone it and be good at it, and you can do it.
A lot of those things too, like the basics win fights, right? And you're going to train your basics and all that. Now, sometimes like a spinning elbow, that might call to you, and that might be something that you're really interested in.
For sure.
Well, go fucking, I'll show it to you. Yeah. Well, you go fucking practice it, but I'm not gonna be spending class times and things like this weekly, and having everybody spin around and stuff. It's just, I'd rather just teach what I teach the basics and all that.
Yeah.
But hey, you make it work, go for it.
Yeah,
Do some spinning
I'm the
shit.
same way.
You
I'm
get
the same
knocked
way.
out.
Well, I didn't tell you. All right, cool. You know what I did forget to ask you though?
Yeah.
Are you still affiliated with Bang?
No, not
I
anymore.
mean, I have to fucking ask.
Yeah, no,
Like,
let's
you used to
go
be,
into
right?
it. It used to be, yeah. So that started in 2014. 2014, I moved back. I was living in Indonesia, and before 2014, 2013, I moved to Indonesia. Came back in 2014, and I started working at Legacy Los Angeles, Alberto Crane School.
Okay. All right. Let's stop this car real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Alberto Crane. Albert Crane, as I knew him by. God, I'm fucking loud. Okay, look. When I was fighting MMA, I ran into that dude everywhere, everywhere. And I don't really know him very well. He's a super cool guy, you know what I mean? And then he was Draculino, right? Draculino's his coach. Now Draculino lives here in Texas too. It's crazy. Whenever somebody mentions Alberto Crane, I remember all the times. Everywhere I was like, Alberto's right there, dude. Yeah, he's a cool cat. Anyways, you were teaching at Legacy.
So yeah, I moved back, and one of my good buddies is like, "Hey, are you gonna teach here now?" I go, "Yeah, eventually I'll probably find somewhere to train or teach and stuff." He goes, "Oh, hit up Alberto because he's looking for a Muay Thai coach. He needs a Muay Thai coach." And I go, "Oh, okay." Talk to Alberto. He's like, "Yeah, man, come tomorrow. Come teach a class and see how it goes, and we'll take it from there." I went, taught a class, went great. Sat down, talked with him. He's like, "Yeah, I'd really love to have you work here and teach." I go, "Cool, let's do it, man. Like, it sounds good to me." He goes, "Oh, one more thing I want to mention is we're affiliated with Bang Muay Thai." And I go, "Cool. Like, well, what is that? Like, what about it?" He goes, "Well, would you want to be under that banner or whatever?" I go, "Well, I don't know nothing about it." I knew Dwayne, and I know who Dwayne was and all that, and really great fighter and coach and everything. I didn't, I've been gone from the States for a long time, so I wasn't really caught up on everything going on. So he goes, "Hey, well, take this DVD, check out the DVD," and it's like Dwayne's one of his first DVDs he had put out. It was like a 4 DVD set, and it was like the core concepts of the Bang Muay Thai system. I was like, cool. I went home, put it in. Oh, that's dope. Put another DVD in. That's dope. Good stuff. And it was really like a basics of fundamentals of kickboxing broken down and compartmentalized into like drills and sections and things like that. It was really well, I thought, really well put together. And I was like, hey,
yeah, dude, I love Dwayne. I've known him for a long time, but here and there, you know?
Yeah.
But he did this seminar that I was teaching at too. And I learned a lot, dude. And I was like, shit, I've been doing this 20 years and I learned a lot from this fucking guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love Dwayne. But anyway, that's why I'd ask.
Yeah.
So you watched the DVD?
So I watched these DVDs and I was like, dude, this is pretty cool. It's like, there's nothing nothing crazy or nothing like weird or nothing. Just really cool stuff. So Alberto was like, well, I mean, we have like a ranking system. And I was like, yeah, I get it, man. Like, I get it. Like, you know, like belts or whatever. Goes, no, we do it with T-shirts. And I was like, all right. I mean, so people got to wear their T-shirt colors. And it was very important for the system, like for you to wear the right colored T-shirt and all that. And he's like, you cool with that? Like, you okay with that? And I go, hey, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll check it out. You know, like as long as I could still teach Muay Thai and I could, you know, learn Dwayne's system and teach that. Hey, it's cool. No problem. Talked to Dwayne. He was really cool about that. He's like, yeah, man, like teach your stuff, teach whatever you want. And, you know, teach the Bang system too. Cool. Let's do it.
Nice.
And then a few months later, he comes to Burbank to like evaluate my skills and all that. Puts me at a blue belt, a blue T-shirt rank instead of like starting at a white belt or whatever, since I've already got all that experience and all that. And then, you know, through the years, rank up and all that. And then, you know, Dwayne's great, man. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Really cool guy. I have nothing bad to say about him.
Super upbeat too. Hyper. Super
upbeat, yeah.
Hyper.
Like really,
let's go. And I'm like, yeah, fucking yeah, let's go.
Really gets you motivated and all that. Really cool guy. It just came to a point where our paths were not going the same direction.
That's cool.
And I think it was just like a mutual agreement to go our separate ways.
That's cool. I mean, I asked because I was interested, but
Yeah.
I also asked because I noticed things. And when I was watching you do pads and stuff, you're more of a Muay Thai guy.
Yeah.
There was elbows and knees and clinches and like you held like a Thai guy.
Yeah.
And that's not really, Dwayne is more of a kickboxer guy.
Yeah.
Muay Thai too. He's good at Muay Thai too.
No, with Dwayne, man.
I just noticed that was you, so that's why I asked. you know?
Yeah. I mean, with Dwayne, he has a great system and all
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Honestly, I think a lot of the stuff he teaches is very advanced application stuff, but like very high level stuff.
Yeah,
and
he's stuff I can't do. Like
he's-
the
he's-
switching lefty right.
He's
in the middle of stuff.
He's an absolute
It's
wizard,
cool.
and like he'll
For sure.
analyze the fights and great at all that.
For sure.
Joe Blow coming off the street can't really, start switching and
And I've been doing it a long time, and I can
Yeah.
do some of it, but it's very hard. Yeah.
But I mean,
absolutely.
that wasn't even the issue. I think where the split happened was over like t-shirt colors and stuff like that. It was just we made a promotional video for the gym. People were training with black t-shirts on, and he just didn't like that. So it was
It's all
like,
good.
man,
No worries.
yeah, it's all good, man. It's all
Yeah.
cool, but
Yeah, I mean, look, having a ranking system isn't bad. I'm thinking about doing it too. I just gonna explain to my students that it doesn't mean anything anywhere else. It just means something here, because what it does is it shows improvement. Like it just shows. Look, I'm getting better.
yeah.
Because people don't notice they're getting better. But when you get a new shirt, you're like, yeah, I'm getting better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, people enjoy it, and I think,
Yeah.
I gave it a good solid 5 years
That's cool.
into the system and learned a lot from Dwayne. But at the end, I realized, this t-shirt thing it's not for me.
Yeah.
And after doing it for 5 years and going through, the pros and cons of all that, and after, him being adamant about, well, you can't have anybody on the mats with a black t-shirt on, no matter if it's in a class or if they're not, like, because we were doing just a video, like we're doing a promotional video, and I was trying to promote it and all that. And he just didn't like seeing people in the black t-shirts.
I got you.
So, okay, cool. I mean, and that's,
Yeah. No worries, dude. Okay, I just had to ask.
yeah.
The show is called Talking Shit. We're gonna
Yeah.
talk a little shit. But again, I love Dwayne, dude.
Yeah.
He's dope, man.
Yeah.
He's fucking super cool.
Yeah.
Man, I saw him one time. We used to go. K1s used to be in Vegas, when they had all the big heavyweights and
Yeah.
and Dwayne was fighting at 155, and you know how big his legs are, right?
Yeah.
Making 155 is something, right? He walks by me as close as me and you are, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Dwayne?" And he looked at me for a second. Oh, hey, what's up? He cut way too much weight, dude. Like barely recognized. You know what I mean? Like, whoa. I'm like, dude. That fight was a draw, but we were all screaming, one more round, because Dwayne got sat down and then got up and whooped the kid.
Yeah.
But you can't win a 3-round fight because you got a 10-8 round. So then if you win the other 2, it's a draw. And we're all screaming, one more round, one more round, and he would have won. But anyways, okay, enough about that. All right, that was cool, dude. All right, thanks. So question number 2 was, no, we already said that. Question number 3. What in this life would you like to accomplish?
For me right now, my biggest thing is my daughter, raising her right and just, being there for her in any way I can. She's, for me, I was, my whole plan after being in Thailand for those 2 years wasn't to move back. I was actually like, I had a small knee injury. And to this day, I don't even know what the issue was because I never got it looked at. Well, when I came home at the end of 2012, found out her mom was pregnant, this and that. And here she is. Yes, Lily. More games?
We were talking about you. Did you hear us?
We're downloading all these games. Are you playing all of them?
Yes.
Can't believe there's still memory left in my phone.
Hey, I'm going to show you a trick later when we're done, okay? I got a trick for you. All right, cool.
So my whole plan was come back home, rehab this knee, get better, go right back out there and continue the fighting thing, right? Because, going through that, like the stories about New Zealand and going through all these things, I was like, okay, now I know the importance of having the right team behind you, the right kind of managers and people looking out for you, And I was in the process of getting all that sorted out.
The right coach.
Yeah. Somebody, who's going to look after you the right way, right? Win or lose, like, it's not the point, but just having the right opportunities. Well, the minute I knew that my wife at the time was pregnant, then the fighting switch went off and the dad switch turned on, right? And from then on, it was just like, for me, it was just clear.
Dude. It's a good thing. It's a life changer. And I can't tell you, I don't have kids.
Yeah.
But, like, I love kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. For me right now, everything is about her.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. Good. All right. So in our business that we're in, you own a gym, I own a gym, and not just the gym business, in the Muay Thai game, the whole thing itself. What do you hate about this business? Are you thinking because there's so many things running through your head? Or there's only a couple things running through your head?
About like what aspect? Any aspect of the business?
Any aspect. Like, what do you hate about this business?
Okay. The main thing, as far as Muay Thai in America is concerned, I hate the fact that we are not allowed to govern our own sport. And it's in the hands of
boxing guys,
MMA guys, whoever.
Yeah.
Anybody who's not us.
Yeah.
And it's just that
it's bullshit.
It's bullshit. And that's what's kind of holding the whole sport down. And I think by this time, we have so many knowledgeable people, so many people who've spent time in Thailand, so many people who just taken the time to learn about the art, refereeing, judging, every aspect.
A lot of good people here in Texas that could help the commission. And the commission wants to shut us down. They don't want us to do, we do things that are called smokers that aren't real fights. It's like sparring. There's no knockouts. There's no winner. There's that. But if they could just look, Corley's here, you're here, I'm here. I mean, there's a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
But if they could just get us on the board and have us, and then sanction these. Look, in Vegas, it's a fight town, right? They send Charlie. You know who Charlie is? He's the dude, the commissioner. He's a cool guy. They send Charlie out to the show. You pay him like $100 or whatever, $50 or something, and you have everything there and fight.
Yeah.
So they do it all the time, and the state makes a bunch of money all the time. Here, no, we can't do that. You have to have thousands and thousands of dollars. You're never going to make any money off of Muay Thai. So why don't they do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I get that too.
Yeah, that's probably like before we bring up issues with the community and any of that kind of stuff, all that stuff can change. But I think the biggest thing is the fact that we can't govern our own sport is just a killer for the game, for our game.
Yeah, it's a total killer.
That's like maybe telling IBJJF they got to go through all the state athletic commissions. They wouldn't have it.
Thing.
Yeah.
That's another thing. So my argument in this is it's a martial art, and their argument in it is, well, it's in a ring, so it's a ring sport. It's not a martial art because look. Taekwondo people don't have to have the commission. They don't have to pay. There's people getting knocked out in Taekwondo. Not very many.
Yeah, but it
guess
happens.
What? It happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it happens. Karate doesn't have to do it. And there's people getting knocked out. You know what I mean?
What about that? What's the karate tournament they do where they're like full contact going at it with each other, but they're not in a ring. They're in like this.
They used to do that
in like a pit or something.
We used to call it pants fighting. Pants fighting.
I think they still do.
Me and Kevin almost got into that. We're gonna be pants fight us.
I'm sure
they still do it.
I don't know.
It was that Chuck Norris thing, dude. Right?
Maybe.
Man, I can't think of it. That was a long time ago.
I'm pretty sure there's no state athletic commission governing that.
No, because it's a martial arts tournament.
Yeah.
Well, Muay Thai is a martial art. No, it's boxing.
Yeah.
It's not boxing, but. I mean, we've been fighting with these guys for years. Like, again, look, if every little gym in Texas got together and did shows and they all paid the commission $100 a month, you know how much money they would make, dude? Like, hey, you just make sure that they're safe. They have a governing body. We have paramedics there and a good referee and judges, and let us have fights. Then it would build the sport enough to where pros would want to come here. I just went off on a fucking tangent. I got you. I hate that too. All right. So the next question is, what in this life do you love? And I know your daughter, because I love her too. She's awesome.
Spending time with my family.
Yeah.
You know, including, you know, my daughter, my mom, my aunt, my sister, everybody.
That's awesome.
Everybody. I really miss all my friends, my family back home.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's probably one of the toughest parts on being out here. Not having my family, and because I was very close with my family. I am very close to my family. So, yeah,
that's good, man. I've always been by myself in other places. So yeah,
I always try to go out at least like twice a year. Like we'll go for Christmas. Yeah, we'll go during the summer. Just to spend a little bit of time.
LA?
Back to LA, yeah.
Yeah, nice. I tried to go to LA. I haven't in a long time. I had a bunch of friends there too.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your favorite saying? Like if somebody says, man, fucking Alex, he always says this.
Man, I would have to ask either my students or somebody else. Well, I can't think of a saying that I have. I don't know. I can't think of it. I don't know. Sorry. Sorry.
All right. Anyways,
maybe they can
call your students.
They can in the comments. Maybe they can say, "Hey, he says this all the time."
In the comments, right here. What does he say? This motherfucker. They would say so much shit about me. Nah, no, I'm not asking myself.
I'd be interested to know. Like, so if you think I say something, I have a certain phrase or saying, I'd like to know what that is.
Mine is don't hit him with your purse.
Don't hit him. You did say that today. I heard that. I like that one.
Well, it makes people go, like, I'm not going to do that. They do it right. That's what it does. All right. So look, if you didn't do the profession that you do now, like if this wasn't your thing, what would you do?
Dude, I think I would either be a cop or military or something like that. Because when I was a kid, I did want to be a cop. And then I worked at a police department and I was like, I don't want to be a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was probably an avenue I was seeking going towards. But I mean, martial arts was just, I got into it so early on in my life that it was just like, I didn't have time to even like think about doing something else. This was it. This is what I was going to do.
You're lucky, man. My first fight, I was 30.
Yeah.
I mean, I got in way too late. I thought I was going to be a rock star. And then I got into, I mean, you have to rely on a bunch of other people that are a bunch of fucking lazy fucking assholes.
Yeah.
And you're thinking you want to do it, and then fighting, you have to rely on yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a bunch of people too, coaches, and make sure you have good people, but it's you in there against that guy. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So,
and if it wasn't law enforcement or military, I'd probably own a restaurant or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Thai restaurant. Can you cook?
I can cook. I can cook pretty good. Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah. I can cook pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. That's good. That's a good answer. All right. Okay. What profession would you never, ever do? Ever?
Man, these are good questions. I got to think about that. Whoa. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I would never do.
There's a list.
But, well, it feels, what I really didn't like in the restaurant business was actually like being a waiter and all that. So I would never do that. But I think everybody should do that. I think everybody should, especially young teenagers and kids, should get jobs as waiters and waitresses. And everybody should at least go through that, just so they have some.
So you were a waiter?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you said you would never ever do. You'd never ever do it again.
I'd own a restaurant, but
you would never be the waiter.
No.
So you'd never do it again, is what you're saying?
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. That's good. I was never a waiter. Dude, I'd get fired. Anyway. I've never been known to like hold my tongue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, dude, you can't say that. Oh,
You could bartend probably at certain types of bars that would fly at certain types of bars.
Degenerate bars. I know what you're trying to say, bro. Okay. Yeah, probably. But yeah, I'm in a gym business now. You know what's the best part about our job that I tell people? Guys talking shit, glove up. Bro.
Glove.
Yeah, I'm old, but glove up, dude. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's the best part. And then that's it. We settle it. We're done. All right. Okay, so last question. Here it is. Ready? At the end of your life, when it's all said and done, everything's over, how would you like for people to remember you?
Man, just for me, I always want to do the right thing. I always want to be as a coach, you want people to. I want to be there for people when they need it the most, right? And when it's all said and done, if I was there for somebody and I could provide that for somebody, family, friends, or whoever it was.
Boom. I like that. And as coaches, we are more than more than we hear about for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And for, I didn't, it's all, you always know, you're helping people out and all that, but it didn't hit me until fairly recently, just, how much this means to some people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So where's your new gym at?
Austin, Texas. You want the address?
Give it up.
1158 Lost Creek Boulevard. And
Lost Creek.
You can find us on www.muaythaiatx.com.
Fucking awesome. All right, man. I really appreciate it.
It's been a
Thanks.
pleasure, bro. All right. Yeah, awesome, dude.